Hi everybody, I'm Hannah Chalker and this is MAC Weekly. Sometimes the schedule just works out. On Wednesday it seemed all the top teams were playing each other. Akron, with the only perfect conference record, was on the road to play Buffalo. Both teams came out firing from three-point range, and midway through the first half it was tied at 22. In the second half, Buffalo was looking to put this one away. It stretched the lead to 14 at 61-47. Akron would get as close as 4 points, but behind a game-high 21 from Zach Filzen, Buffalo wins it 82-70. The first conference loss for the Zips. Ohio at 13-4 had the best overall record in the MAC. The Bobcats hosting 12-4 Kent State. The Bobcats meant business. They wore black at home. As you might expect, tough game, and Ohio led by 3 at intermission. Then came the second half. The Cats went on a 21-2 run to open the second half, and this game was over. Led by a career-high 19 points by Walter Offutt, there was 5 Bobcats in double figures, and they go on to win big, 87-65. First place in the West was on the line as Eastern Michigan hosted Western Michigan. This was a great game. Let's go right to the final minute, and J.R. Sims nails a three-pointer to tie the game at 50. Then, with less than 5 seconds to play, Antonio Green drained a long 3. Eastern takes the lead at 53-50. But Western still had time to tie the game, and Nate Hutchinson let it fly before the buzzer. It was good, and it was on to overtime. In the OT, the Eagles took a 4-point lead and then sealed it with free throws. Eastern Michigan wins 62-59 in overtime. Here are the men's conference standings. For the women, it was showdown night in Oxford. 4-0 Miami hosting 4-0 Bowling Green. Something had to give. The visiting Falcons behind 16 points and 11 rebounds from Alexis Rogers, and 15 from Jessica Slagle edged the Redhawks 61-58. They now have the best record in the MAC at 5-0. Meanwhile, the West lead was on the line in Ypsilanti. 3-1 Eastern Michigan hosted rival Central, also 3-1. Tavalyn James was on fire in the first half. She scored 19 of her game-high 23 points. At one point, the Eagles were up 32-12, but Central battled back and cut the lead to 7 with 6.5 minutes to play. But that would be as close as the visitors would get. Eastern wins 73-60 and now is all alone in first in the West. And great game between Akron and Ohio. The Bobcats looked like they might run away from the Zips as they took an early 9-point lead. But Akron settled down and at halftime trailed by only 2. Fast forward to the final 15 seconds, and the Cats led 62-60. Cena King will get the rock and the bucket. It was all tied up at 62, headed to overtime. In the OT, game tied at 71, and Tanisha Benson was fouled with 0.7 of a second to play. She makes the free throw for a career-high 23, and the Bobcats win in overtime 72-71. Here are the women's standings. And spring tennis opens this weekend as men's and women's teams are in action. I'm Hannah Chalker, and this has been MAC Weekly.